Morning, everyone. This is Jim Adkins here from Jim Adkins Results Coaching with a question for you. Can you tell the truth, or can you tell the difference, between truth and illusion or delusion? I just heard a statement recently that made me ponder this idea again. We've talked about it before in our beliefs workshop, but I'd like to propose the question again to you today. As we approach the end of the year, everybody's doing some reflecting. If you're not, sit back and reflect. And on this process of the truth versus illusion or delusion, be completely honest with yourself. Look back at the wonderful things you've accomplished. Don't get so focused on moving forward that you forget to look back and appreciate the things that you have achieved and the lessons that you've learned. Okay, so truth versus illusion. The statement that I heard was, if you're suffering, you're living a lie, or you're living something that's an illusion, that's not right for you, not your truth. Which brings up the philosophical question, really, what is the truth? Because we each have our own versions of the truth. Trust me. People tell you, no, there's only one truth. There's only one version of the truth. Well, that's not the truth, okay? The truth is that there are many truths. When it comes to concrete evidence, the truth then becomes interpretation. Does that make sense? So while you search for truth, and remember, I want you to understand this conversation is not about other people's truths to you. I'm not talking about can you tell the difference when somebody's telling you the truth. That's not what we're discussing. We're discussing the idea of what you believe, what you see, what you interpret, what you experience are your truths. And those truths can sometimes be illusions or delusions. Great examples of that are when I worked with the military, when I was teaching some of the Marines, or when I was teaching some of the Navy personnel. I witnessed in the Marine Corps their devil dog mentality. And what I mean by that is, and I don't want to pull the veil back or blow anything into placebo idea, but I want to share this with you. Hello, Moth. I've got a visitor today. He's been flying around here. They would teach their self-defense tactics to their new recruits with such belief that what they were teaching them worked. Okay, follow me for a second. Self-defense tactics to the new recruits who may have never had any experience in martial skills or martial arts before, and they're telling them that these skill sets, that's it. You're the most deadly Marine out there. And they weren't lying. Well, I don't know. They didn't flat out come out and say it was the best, but they taught them with the attitude that this was it. Okay. And I don't ever remember them saying this was the only way, this is the best way. Okay. So they weren't lying to the recruits, but they were showing them with such enthusiasm and showing them with such passion and the intensity and the belief that all of that stuff worked. When I sat back and watched it, I can tell you 90% of what they were doing was not the most effective way to get things done. However, their belief system became the truth of the new recruits, and those new recruits become unstoppable, most of them, some of them. Truth, illusion, delusion. Well, when push comes to shove, what gets you through? It's going to be your belief first, then your skill. Okay? So truth versus illusion or delusion. Are you lying to yourself at any point in your life or in your day? If you are, the illusion or delusion of your interpretation of the truth at the moment could become in the form of excuses or reasoning, rationalization, right? Well, I can do that tomorrow, or I don't need to do that because, or the reason this happened is, or those are all softeners, right? Well, where does the line lie for you? Lie, it wasn't the right. Where does it for you? So today's action, what I'd like you to do is just kind of look at your life. And these are not bad things, okay? Let's look at a different truth idea. The idea of interpretation and truth. When you see a rose, the flower, a rose, what do you think it is? How do you describe the rose? What would you say to other people? How would you experience the flower itself? there are a couple different ways to experience that experience, for lack of a better term, the rose. The beauty, the fragrance, which recently has been bred out of roses if you haven't been paying attention. But the beauty, the fragrance, the usefulness, the the orchestration of placement or symmetry, um, the life force, the energy, um, the obstinance, the memory of the painful hurt, depending on how that rose maybe reminds you of something painful. These are all truths in interpretation of an idea or the rose, correct? Well, at what point does your truth become the only truth? I just want you to look at it. It's kind of a fun thing to play with today. Truth can be defended by outcome, and that's a statement that you can put at the end of this. Truth can be defended by outcome whenever there's a question in what exactly stands before us. There are concrete ideas in how to interpret the reality of what's in front of us. But even then, reality is different for a lot of people, right? So the reality is based on your experience and your beliefs. Your beliefs are what run your modalities and your actions become your new truths. So how can we use this to better ourselves? Well, when you wake up in the morning and you're grateful for truths. You don't say, hey, I'm grateful for the truth of this. You say, I'm grateful for my house. Well, your house is a truth. I'm grateful for my home, which is different than a house. Your home is a truth. I'm grateful for my family, my health, my love, my finances, my opportunity, my ability to learn, the breath within me, the vision, the hearing, the music. I'm grateful for my neighbors, my students, my friends. These are all truths. Let's say you want to be great. Okay, here's a good one. Let's say you have a family member, right, who has caused a little static. You know what I mean, right? And maybe it's gone on for a long time, and that family member has really rubbed you the wrong way for a while, but you love them because they're family. And you wake up in the morning and you tell yourself a delusional truth. I am so grateful for so and so in my life. Well, at the point of delusion is the contact and the idea that I'm not happy with this person. But if I tell myself I am, I will get over it. That's the delusional set point. As you move past it and you say you're grateful and you feel the gratitude for that person in your life, all of a sudden the truth of certain aspects of that person prove your gratefulness. Well, I am very grateful that they're still alive. I'm very grateful that they have the opportunity to turn this around and learn from it. I am grateful that if they need help, I know that I can be there for them, or I've given them all I can, and I'm grateful that they've gone through this and they're getting to the other side, or whatever it is. But now it's your truth. The delusion started out as a point in your mind where you wanted to change the situation. You told yourself a truth to be conceived, and that truth became your reality at the moment of inception or conception. Is that fun? Does that work? So today, how are you? I'm incredible. Is that the truth? For me, it is. uh, how are you? Um, Beautiful. How are you? I am extraordinary. How are you? I am passionate. Um, these are your new truths. How about if you tell yourself, how are you? I feel miserable today, or I don't know, the politics and the news and the people and the men and women and this group of people and that group. Truths or delusion? Interpretation or experience? Concrete or imaginary? Self-imposed? I love you, and that's a truth from me. Whether you feel it or not, I guess that would be my fault, huh? All right, guys. Truth versus illusion or delusion. How do we use it? How can we use it? And where do we draw the lines? Whenever I say truth, or excuse me, whenever we use the word truth, there are certain reactions from certain people. People have a solid tendency to believe that their truth is the only truth. Martial artists believe that a lot, and sometimes they have to get through the day, right? Um, I imagine that's true with a lot of people. Religious people do it a lot too, when really we share the same common truth. For most people do really. The goodness, the kindness, the love, the sharing, the honesty, right? The truths. Okay, I love you guys. Have a great Thanksgiving, and don't lie to yourself about that pie. It's still 800 calories today, just like it was yesterday. I did see a post here that you can use on my way out of here if you want. It said, don't forget to set your scales back 15 pounds midnight tonight. I love you. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you on the other side.